Greetings, YouTube land. This is Dymock-Johnson. In a ongoing discussion, ongoing meandering thoughts about Star Trek, prompted by the Complex Games apologist. And today we'll talk about that other aspect of Star Trek, that other defining technology in most of the things we find, the Replicator. The Replicator, for those of you who haven't seen a Star Trek episode post-1980, is a device which allows a Federation citizen, and certainly a Federation Starfleet personnel, to create pretty much anything they want, as long as they've got the energy and the matter to do so. And, well, energy and matter are kind of easy to come by for them. However, they don't run around in power suits and throw grenades at their problems, because that's not what they are. Starfleet are, as the Complex Games apologist put it, are visiting firemen. If a crisis erupts, well, they'll go and put it out, or they'll go and deal with the problem, and if absolutely necessary, they'll fight. But they are not soldiers. They are rather diplomats. They are scientists. They are investigators. And they are firemen. They will come and deal with a problem, or help cure your plague, help deal with that rampant subduction which is causing your entire continent to fall over. They'll come and help solve your problem. But the Replicator means they are a post-scarcity society. They do not need things. They do not surround themselves with things. If you watch an episode of Star Trek, you'll find that the Starfleet officers are rather Spartan in their dress and their effects. They will have a few knickknacks that they prize or value, but beyond that, they have the tools that allow them to do their job, and that's about it, really. Now, part of this is due to the vicissitudes of the original TV programs. The original series and The Next Generation were built on rather threadbare budgets. And once you'd paid for the expensive set and the expensive special effects that everyone sort of expected, not a lot was given over the props. So you had to make do with what you didn't have. But in universe, we've got to justify this another way. They're a post-scarcity society. They don't value things the way our capitalist society insists we must. But to make the game interesting for players, if they're not after things, if they're not after acquiring loot, after all, a Starfleet crew are not going to be a merry band of murder hobos who loot and pillage and raid ancient sites and scoop up all the alien artifacts for their own use. Well, they probably are going to delve into ancient artifacts with a sort of glee approaching that of a murder hobo, but they're doing it for different reasons. They are investigators. They are studiers. They are out to categorize and learn. So they value learning. They value gain of esoteric skills. But this probably isn't enough for your traditional murder hobo trained PC player. They want something more. They want something on their character sheet that makes them say, I'm getting ahead. So you gotta wonder what a post-scarcity society values. A brief perusal of Star Trek episodes is that there is an awful lot of prestige at stake. Picard and Kirk pass up being the captain for an awfully long time because they get to be the captain of Starfleet's flagship. That is a job of an awful lot of prestige. A lot of what the Native Society in New Zealand calls mana, which is not the same as that usable resource in computer games. Mana is broadly translatable as honor, standing, authority. Some combination of that. If you have a lot of mana, you have a lot of respect, you have a lot of authority, you have a lot of prestige. So, mana accumulation, in this sense of understanding, prestige, authority, is probably something you want to acquire or have as a stat in a Star Trek type game. You gain mana by being in a prestigious position. by acquiring new knowledge, by being diplomatic, by espousing the Starfleet ethos. Conversely, you lose mana by doing things opposed to the Starfleet ethos, solving problems through violence. No matter how necessary or unavoidable it is, it's not the Starfleet way. It's not the Federation way. So you would lose prestige. You might still retain your rank, but you have less mana. You have less honor as a Starfleet officer. Also, if you acquire things, you'll be materialistic. So the more things you have in a Star Trek game, the less mana you should have, the less honor, less prestige. You should only have a few things, because everything else can be built by the Replicator anyway. So you don't need things. But you do need prestige. You do need honor. You need mana. So, that's what I think should be a stat in a Starfleet game, reflecting being in a post-scarcity society. What you are trying to garner is honor, mana, not things, not magic items, not loot, and not combat experience. You want to avoid those, because those are not the Starfleet way. Thank you.